Pisces negative traits, confessions of a daydreamer. Those born under Pisces zodiac signs have selfless behavior, kindness, and unconditional listening. However, Pisces traits are emotionally sensitive. Even they tend to detach when facing difficulties. Read more if you'd like to dissect bad and confusing Pisces traits. Pisces negative traits, they're oversensitive. When things don't go well, emotions rush in, and at that time, Pisces always think that the whole world's against them. They have no defense mechanisms to protect them from their senses, so their only survival method takes a detachment that few possess. Because true Pisces extremely hate the uncomfortable emotion of direct confrontation, they choose to live a closed life as a way of self-protection instead. Being overly sensitive is at the core of the Pisces traits, which is lucky for all their family, friends, and lovers since they make the best friends and partners. But it's unfortunate when these Pisces are affected by energy and the environment around them, like a shift in the current or on the tide. This is not always good. They instinctively get in touch with their feelings and soak up the feeling of others like sponges and foster a negative comment from so-and-so. Not just with their feelings or emotions, Pisces are oversensitive to the extent of analyzing every word a person says, even about the actions and thoughts of others. Then they spin a yarn about what the person feels about them. Because of their oversensitivity, Pisces traits sometimes cause self-harm. Even they can shatter their pride and confidence by careless words spoken by a friend or a loved one. When someone carelessly hurts them, Pisces have no way of handling it, but to suffer to the point of allowing their emotions to overflow until they crack under pressure. Because of these reasons, Pisces are the most susceptible to mental disorders in the zodiac. Only when Pisceans learn to protect their energy will they be fine. Pisces negative traits, they're unrealistic and impractical. Head in the clouds, as often people say, and this maxim certainly applies to those born under Pisces. This astrological sign is famous for being daydreamers, who generally would rather immerse their inner world of thoughts and desires than throw themselves at the challenges of the real world. These traits can give Pisces traits vivid imaginations and powerful creative abilities, but they get easily lost in fantasies, and it's hard for Pisces to recognize fact checks or distinguish them from fiction. For these fishes, the mystical world is more attractive than the real one. Wandering mind allows Pisceans to get out of self-imposed limits, and daydreaming has a positive effect on their happiness when differences in perception lead to unusual ideas. But under a dark aspect, there are some negative consequences, both intellectual and emotional sides. That dreamy nature can drag down Pisces' productivity levels. They might indeed get caught up in their imaginations at times, following impracticable notions rather than settling down to focus on the more usual duties that need to be performed. These Pisces should remember that when the fog is dense on the water, the horizon is obscured, and there is no distinction between the sea and the sky. Thus, they must be watchful of illusions and avoid wearing rose-colored glasses to deal with their problems. Even in romantic relationships, this water sign probably builds up a romantic motif with a little fairy flavor, full of sweet romance in their head when they like someone. Even they can imagine about future with them before they really make the acquaintance of him or her. Sometimes this unrealistic dating approach makes them ignore any red flags others tell you. Pisces negative traits, pessimistic and escapist. Sensitivity is considered Pisces' dark trait because it magnifies not only joy but also pessimism. These creatures led by hearts seem unable to lay aside their sorrow. Instead, they let the pain gnaw at their heart and huddle further into their coat. Furthermore, these fish are trustworthy in giving. They trust others easily and follow everyone without a second thought. That is why they might be taken advantage of and manipulated, making it difficult for them to recover after being mistreated. Therefore, after all their hurt and exhaustion, Pisceans tend to escape reality and lock themselves off as self-protection when repeatedly injured. They need to get out of touch to take a breather from the chaos of life. Those close to them shouldn't worry if they suddenly disappear from them, because they need to find a balance between alone time and social time. No matter how close Pisces are to those around them, they are still detached souls deep inside. You'll be surprised to see how quiet they can get after seeing them to be life of the party. A Pisces can go from empathy deeply to being very detached easily. That's the introverted side of a Pisces. If they see you after a long day, they might be all irritable and not want to talk. After all, Pisces wouldn't exist without their relationships, but wouldn't function properly without their solitude. Consequently, Pisces enjoys their me time the most, leading them to wander in their dreams and fantasies, recharge their batteries, and get their thoughts in order. Instead of avoiding facing obstacles when things get bad, they launch into self-preservation mode and withdraw back into their dream world until they feel it's safe to come out. But this underwater sign should remember that swimming far away cannot solve the problem, and it is famous as one of the bad traits of a Pisces. Pisces' negative traits, they're indecisive. Possessing unbelievable intuition, Pisces see both sides of every situation. Sometimes this can make it difficult to make a decision, and they're seen as incredibly indecisive or wishy-washy, which makes them struggle with balancing their logic and emotion, or stress over every choice for fear of making the incorrect decision. More often than not, Pisceans end up making no decision or taking no action. Sometimes they can drive their friends and loved ones nuts with their consideration, even getting a bad reputation for being lazy and inactive. But they can't help it sometimes. Life is just too many choices. In making the same decision, Aries tend to decide hastily without weighing the pros and cons. However, a Pisces would think up to 10 consequences because they really worry too much. To make it simple, Pisces would think of the different effects that could be caused by their situation, whether or not it will cause misunderstandings, etc. Because of this, they constantly revisit their decisions in search of an equilibrium between the two. But please be sympathetic to people born under the Pisces zodiac. They're fishes that can sink or swim. Because of their adaptable nature, they may aimlessly drift around for a while. To some Pisces, they may appear lost or distracted with their heads in the clouds, and a tendency to change their mind is the reason that makes it hard to be decisive. Sometimes it takes them a while to focus on orienting through life and deciding the right direction. Like archetypal astrologer Rebecca M. Farrer said, "When everything seems possible, deciding on just one reality of a decision can be nearly impossible." Moreover, even if Pisces choose the exact opposite of what they want, they are completely happy with it. Why? Because of being the child of the water sign. Pisces always put others' needs before them and try to please others without letting them be upset. If any conversation seems difficult, they'll constantly treat themselves unselfishly to prove they're unselfish. That's indecision, isn't it? Pisces' negative traits. They can be lazy. Pisces traits are always ready to sacrifice themselves and help those around them when they need, and at the same time, they unconsciously avoid burdensome responsibilities or ones that are full of difficulties. Just make yourselves comfortable. These Pisceans are ready to leave everything to go out. That is a fun to survive in this world of Pisces. Even if the material life is not too rich, as long as it's not too tiring and has time, Pisces will give up everything to follow what they are passionate about. Meanwhile, they don't like to overwork and avoid every task until the last minute. You might find them looking for inspiration from glorious sunsets across the river or immersed a familiar, soothing melody to make an effort for a creative burst. It's normal when Pisces work alone, but can cause inconvenience to their coworkers if they work in teams. Laziness helps Pisces. When they feel tired and don't want to pursue something anymore, they will let go. But these fishes never accept themselves as lazy, but only blame the situation.